Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at hydration and what to take with you on your trip to make sure you stay hydrated. So we've got a few things on the table here that we're going to take a look through and look at the pros and cons of the different things that we've got here. So to start with, we're going to look at the standard platypus camelback style bag with a tube. Now these are great to take with us on expedition because it allows us to have them in our bags, to keep walking and to be able to drink on the move whenever we want. The disadvantages of them though are that there's several disadvantages. The main one is that I always find is people always think that they're drinking a lot when they're using one of these because they're constantly putting the tube in their mouth. But when they get to a lunchtime stop or the end of the day and they pull it out their bag and they realise that actually they've only been sipping on it and they actually haven't really taken on that much fluid on the trip. Now bearing in mind you're going to be wanting to take in 2-3 litres a day on your trip, you want to actually see that you're drinking that. So that's one of the disadvantages of this style of thing. Not saying don't take them, but you know, it's good to have something else as well. The other disadvantages of these are that if something was to break whilst you were away, you're not then going to be able to fix it. So for example, should the tube break and you haven't got a spare one, then your whole drink system is going to be useless for the rest of your trip. So you really always need to have a backup. And then finally, the other reason why sometimes these are not great is because especially on trips like Kilimanjaro or Everest Base Camp at the final stages, the tube can actually freeze in the cold and then you won't be able to get any drink out at all. So these are the disadvantages with those. Obviously the advantage is you don't have to stop, you can drink it all the time as long as you keep drinking it. Next up is the standard bottle. Again, these are great, they're robust, you won't break them, they've got a nice wide mouth on it to drink from, and when you take it out of your bag you can see how much you've drank each time in it. So these are great. So having maybe this and one of these is probably one of the best solutions you can have to hydration on a trip. If you are going where it's cold, then you can buy these style of insulated liners that you pop the bottle into to prevent it from freezing, because the last thing you want when you're climbing like Kilimanjaro on summit evening is frozen water. So you've got things like this where you can keep it inside, it's insulated, and it will keep your drink from freezing. So as you can see in there, it's fully insulated and padded out in lines. So these are great to have. These are robust, they're not going to break. Apparently you can drive over one of these with a Land Rover and it won't break. I've never tried one, and maybe actually I have a Land Rover, so actually maybe I'll do a video on if you can drive over one on the Land Rover and see how that goes. And these have just started to come out as well, which I think are great for carrying your spares on expeditions. And these are just collapsible bottles, and you just squeeze it in apparently. I got it working last night. There we go. And it just unfolds out into a bottle like so. And I think these would be really good as carrying as a spare, or if space is, you know, if you're struggling to take space out with you, actually having two of these in your bag that you can open up is great. Now, whilst we're on the subject of hydration, we also need to think about that where we're going to be getting the water from. We're not going to be getting mineral water from everywhere on the mountain, so we are going to need to take some chlorine tablets with us to treat the water that we're using, to make sure we don't get any nasty tummy bugs whilst we're away. So make sure you're carrying chlorine tablets with you. And the other thing as well is if you just try drinking water once you've chlorinated it before you go away, because actually most people don't try it, and when they get there they find that actually the taste is horrible and they can't drink it. Well, you need to be drinking 2 to 3 litres a day. So the other option and the other thing that I suggest that people take with them is actually like the little pots of Robinson's fruit drink that you just put a couple of drops into it. Don't take up very much space, they're not going to leak all over your bag, and it just flavors the water. And actually, if you're one of these people that can't drink water, then having flavored water is at least going to allow you to drink the 2 to 3 litres that you need to be drinking each day. So that's all the information that I've got to pass on to you in this video on hydration. Think about what you're going to take with you. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask us, and we look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks a lot.